When BTS announced their group hiatus in 2022 to focus on solo activities and military enlistments, the global music industry paused for a moment. The news signaled not an end, but a redirection of energy. Each member would pursue their own artistic goals, while still promising a reunion someday. For millions of fans, collectively known as ARMY, this promise carried immense emotional weight. The word someday became a keyword in every conversation surrounding the group's future. From that point on, every public move made by any of the members was scrutinized not just as an individual activity, but also in the context of when BTS might reunite as Seven. This anticipation gradually evolved into a mixture of hope, speculation, and sometimes even confusion. The discussion around a potential reunion became a global topic, fueled by online forums, interviews, live broadcasts, and even passing comments by South Korea. The completion of mandatory military service plays a significant role in determining group activity timelines. With Jin being the first to enlist in late 2022, followed by J-Hope and Suga, the fanbase naturally marked their calendars for the estimated return period, sometime in 2025 or 2026. This timeframe became an unofficial countdown to when BTS might stand together on stage once again. However, as the remaining members, RM, Jimin, V, Taehyung, and Jungkook, continued releasing solo work, the narrative around their future as a group became more complex. Rather than simply waiting in the background, each member established a clear and independent artistic identity. Jungkook released Golden, an international success that showcased his global appeal and vocal range. Taehyung delivered a jazz-influenced debut, highlighting his aesthetic leanings and taste for artistry beyond mainstream expectations. Despite these individual journeys, the fanbase never lost focus on the idea of Seven as one. Every group-related memory shared by the members was dissected for deeper meaning. When Jimin or RM mentioned group messages or nostalgic moments in interviews, ARMY interpreted them as signs of unity. Even posts on Weverse or Instagram that included older group photos sparked waves of discussion. Could this be a clue? Was a reunion closer than expected? Occasionally, media outlets would amplify the speculation. Headlines such as, "Is BTS preparing for a 2025 reunion?" or "Jungkook drops hint about group comeback" were common. However, these were often based on vague references or misinterpretations of fan translations. No official statement from HYB or Big Hit Music explicitly confirmed any timeline for a full group comeback. Still, the expectation endured, and not without foundation. During BTS's Festa 2022 dinner, the members had clearly stated that they would return as a group after completing their military service obligations. They emphasized that BTS was not disbanding, but evolving. "We'll come back when the time is right," Jungkook had said at the time. This sentiment became an anchor for ARMY during the period of uncertainty that followed. What added to the anticipation was the occasional collaboration or public support between the members. Jimin appearing at Suga's concert, RM posting Taehyung's promotional content, Jungkook praising Jin's military photos. These small gestures kept the idea of BTS's brotherhood alive in the public consciousness, suggesting that while they were walking individual paths, they remained emotionally and professionally connected. In late 2024, with Jin nearing the end of his enlistment, the conversation around a BTS reunion surged once more. Social media trended with hashtags like #2025 is for BTS and #BTS comeback 2025. Fan-made posters imagined the seven members on stage again. ARMY organized projects aimed to welcome the members back from service with a sense of unity and celebration. Yet, not everything was clear-cut. While fan hopes remained high, official channels remained quiet. There were no confirmed schedules or even teasers hinting at a specific plan. The silence was both reassuring and unnerving. On one hand, it meant the group was being deliberate and thoughtful about their next steps. On the other, it left room for misunderstandings and speculative anxiety. Complicating matters further was the changing music landscape. K-pop had evolved since BTS's temporary exit as a group. New groups emerged, global partnerships shifted, and even HYB diversified its focus with other subsidiaries and artists. In this competitive ecosystem, the timing of BTS's return carried both artistic and business implications. Moreover, the members' growing success as solo artists introduced new dynamics. Would all seven truly want to return to group activities with the same intensity? Could their individual careers and creative autonomy coexist with BTS's collective format? These were questions fans, media, and industry insiders all pondered, sometimes uncomfortably. The anticipation thus began to carry a new layer, not just about when BTS would return, but how. Would it be a one-time reunion concert? A full-length album? A tour? Or something different entirely, perhaps more symbolic than sustained? Against this backdrop, any action from any member could influence public sentiment. And that's where the significance of Jungkook's recent remarks and Taehyung's cryptic online activity begins to take shape. Both instances, discussed in later chapters, became pivotal moments not because they confirmed or denied a reunion, but because they disrupted the quiet expectancy ARMY had maintained for years. What seemed like an assured someday began to feel, for some fans, like a question mark. In conclusion, the anticipation for a BTS reunion is more than a countdown. It's a multifaceted cultural phenomenon. It involves fan devotion, industry speculation, emotional investment, and the natural evolution of artists growing both together and apart. As we delve into the specific developments surrounding Jungkook and Taehyung, it is essential to understand this larger context. The reunion of BTS, if and when it happens, will not be merely a musical event. It will be a reflection of time, maturity, intention, and choice, and the evolving narrative of BTS as both a group and as individual artists. Jungkook has stood out as one of the most publicly active members during the group's hiatus. His solo career, marked by high-profile releases, international promotions, and digital visibility, has prompted observers to reconsider how his path fits into the broader picture of BTS's future. While fans continue to associate him closely with the identity of BTS, his consistent solo momentum has sparked new interpretations, especially in light of ongoing questions surrounding the possibility of a full group reunion. Following the announcement of BTS's group hiatus, Jungkook wasted little time in establishing his personal brand. His solo debut album, Golden, released in late 2023, was positioned not just as a collection of songs but as a strategic launch into global stardom. With producers and collaborators from the US, Europe, and Korea, the album aimed to transcend regional expectations. It was met with commercial success, charting internationally and garnering critical reviews that emphasized Jungkook's crossover potential. Promotional activities for Golden took Jungkook to multiple platforms, from appearances on American talk shows to live stages in Japan and Europe. He engaged audiences in multiple languages and participated in behind-the-scenes content, YouTube vlogs, and fan live streams. Each move was calculated to build an individual identity while maintaining connection to ARMY. However, as his solo presence expanded, fans and media alike began to question whether his schedule allowed for simultaneous group preparation. In various interviews, Jungkook expressed gratitude toward his members and acknowledged that BTS had shaped his career. Yet, his language was often forward-looking, focused on personal growth, experimentation, and challenging himself artistically. Rather than emphasizing nostalgia or reunion, he spoke of progress, hard work, and creative responsibility. While there was no direct denial of future group plans, his framing consistently reflected individual ambition. Adding to the discussion was his interaction with the fanbase during live broadcasts. Jungkook has been known to go live frequently, often late at night, casually interacting with fans while eating, playing music, or discussing his daily life. These sessions, though informal, became fertile ground for interpreting his mindset. In one session, when asked directly about a BTS reunion, he answered vaguely, neither confirming nor dismissing the possibility. His tone remained light, but the lack of detail created speculation. During another live broadcast, he reflected on the difficulty of group dynamics versus solo decision-making. He noted that while being in a group offers strength and unity, working alone allows for faster, more personal choices. This candid reflection, though not unusual for artists transitioning between group and solo formats, contributed to an ongoing dialogue within the fandom. Was Jungkook becoming more comfortable as a soloist than as a member of a group? Outside of music, Jungkook's global influence grew through brand endorsements and fashion collaborations. He was appointed global ambassador for major luxury brands, attended international fashion weeks, and became a prominent face for campaigns beyond the music industry. These moves solidified his status as a multidimensional public figure, someone whose presence went beyond the framework of K-pop. From a business perspective, Jungkook's rising profile aligns with HYB's broader strategy of developing their artists as multi-platform personalities. His success reflects not only personal ambition but also corporate support for maximizing Indivi. As 2025 unfolded, the idea of a BTS reunion continued to dominate fan conversations, social media trends, and entertainment headlines. With Jin scheduled to complete his military service in mid-2025, many believed that the long-awaited group comeback was not only possible but imminent. The excitement, however, was not grounded in any official confirmation. Instead, it grew from scattered clues, subtle interactions, and recurring fan expectations, leading to a wave of reunion rumors that caught momentum globally. What triggered the renewed speculation was a series of seemingly unrelated events that fans and media quickly connected. First, a fan-captured image of a rehearsal studio booking under Bangtan circulated on Korean forums. While the legitimacy of the source remained unverified, the post sparked instant attention. ARMY began speculating that this could be an early step in group preparation, even if some members were still serving in the military. Around the same time, an interview snippet featuring a senior HYB executive began making rounds. While speaking about the company's long-term vision, he mentioned that some of our most iconic artists will return stronger once their military responsibilities are completed. Though he did not name BTS directly, the implication was enough to fuel discussions about a potential timeline. Adding to the speculation were a series of indirect messages from RM and Jimin, both of whom had spoken about looking forward to being together again in separate interviews. While vague, these statements were interpreted by many as positive signs of group cohesion. They gave fans a reason to believe that even if no public plan had been announced, conversations behind the scenes were already underway. However, things took a different turn when no official response followed. HYB did not address the reunion rumors, nor did Big Hit issue a statement to clarify or confirm the growing assumptions. This silence, while typical of the company's approach to strategic announcements, left room for misinterpretation. As anticipation built, news outlets, particularly in South Korea and Japan, began covering the fan-driven theories. Several articles titled "BTS Reunion Imminent" or "Will BTS Reunite This Year?" appeared across entertainment sections. Some included speculative timelines, while others quoted unnamed insiders. This media coverage, though unsubstantiated, gave the impression that a reunion was not just hoped for, it was expected. The international response was swift. Hashtags like #BTS2025 and #BangNisComing trended on Twitter and Weverse. Fan art, theories, and countdown posts flooded social platforms. YouTube creators began producing timeline videos, what-if scenarios, and speculative analyses. Every interaction between the members, whether a like, a repost, or a supportive comment, was treated as a potential clue. But while the public was engaging with these possibilities, members of BTS remained relatively silent. Jungkook, in particular, continued to focus on his solo promotions. His interviews and live appearances made no mention of reunion plans. When asked about BTS during one overseas interview, he responded courteously, stating, "We're always connected. But right now, I'm putting my energy into my solo work." While this was consistent with his prior statements, it was also interpreted by some as a sign that he was not actively preparing for a comeback. Meanwhile, Taehyung, also known as V, became a focal point of new attention, not because of any direct statement, but due to a series of enigmatic social media posts. These included abstract photographs, lyric snippets, and messages with ambiguous tones. One post in particular, shared on his Instagram story, read simply, "Some chapters aren't meant to be repeated." The message sparked intense reactions. While some fans considered it a personal reflection unrelated to BTS, others saw it as a cryptic message addressing the reunion discourse. The timing of this post, coming just days after a major Korean outlet published an article about the potential for a BTS group recording session, led to divided interpretations. Some felt Taehyung was subtly pushing back against the narrative being imposed on the group. Others believed it was a reminder that fans should temper their expectations and respect the members' individual journeys. Regardless of the intended meaning, the lack of official clarification created uncertainty. Media analysts began weighing in, offering various opinions. Some argued that HYBE was likely waiting for military completions before making any coordinated move. Others speculated that the divergent directions of each member's career, including Jungkook's global solo momentum and Taehyung's exploration of art and acting, could delay any group project indefinitely. ARMY, for its part, remained active but divided. While many continued to express unwavering support for a group return, others began discussing the possibility that a traditional comeback, such as an album and tour, might not happen at all. Instead, they entertained the idea that BTS could reunite in non-musical formats, a documentary, a one-time concert, or even a symbolic gathering without new material. Through it all, one common theme persisted: silence. Neither confirmation nor denial was offered by the company or the members. In the world of K-pop, where announcements are often tightly scripted and strategically timed, this silence was seen by many as deliberate. Some fans speculated that the group was waiting for a specific milestone or completion date before unveiling plans. Others felt the silence reflected internal uncertainty, possibly a result of differing priorities among the members. From a corporate standpoint, timing was critical. Reuniting BTS prematurely could disrupt their individual brand momentum. Waiting too long, on the other hand, risked losing public interest or disappointing long-term fans. Navigating this balance required careful planning, something HYBE is known for but had yet to reveal in this context. In conclusion, the reunion rumors that surged in early 2025 represented more than just fan excitement. They reflected a complex mix of hope, miscommunication, media amplification, and strategic ambiguity. While there was no definitive rejection of the idea from any member, neither was there a confirmation to support the escalating assumptions. Jungkook's public focus on solo work and Taehyung's ambiguous messaging only added to the uncertainty. As of now, the question of a BTS reunion remains open. And perhaps that openness, neither a yes nor a no, is exactly where the story needs to remain for the time being. As public interest in a BTS reunion surged, the focus inevitably shifted toward direct input from the members themselves. Among them, Jungkook's words carried significant weight. As one of the most active members during the group's hiatus and arguably the most visible in global media, his stance on group activities became a central topic of discussion. With fans and media alike dissecting his every interview and live broadcast, a specific moment sparked widespread debate, a comment that many interpreted as his rejection of a group reunion. The context of this statement is essential. It occurred during a live stream in early 2025, one of Jungkook's casual broadcasts where he engages directly with fans. Known for his candid approach, these sessions are typically spontaneous, unfiltered, and informal. He often speaks freely, answering questions in real time without the structured polish of a studio interview. During this particular live stream, a viewer asked a direct question: